Hi, I'm Randy. If you're new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button. Be sure to ring that bell so that you get notified. Now, to get things started, for those of y'all that don't know me or don't know who I am, I love science fiction. And I am a diehard Star Wars fan. At least I thought I was. I didn't realize how deep Star Wars went. So I had a couple friends of mine tell me, you know what, you need to go back and watch all the animated series. Because yes, I am a diehard Star Wars fan, at least in my heart I am, but only through the canon films. So what I did is I decided to go and watch the Clone Wars movie. That is 2008. I'd never seen it. It is now 2019. So that's how out of touch I have been when it comes to all the, what I consider behind the scenes stuff on Star Wars, okay? So just to give you a quick rundown, I loved, growing up as a kid, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. To me, there was no better set of movies, okay? When Phantom Menace come out, yes, Jar Jar Binks was annoying, but I loved the pod racing and I loved Darth Maul. And I know this might sound crazy, but I wish Darth Maul could have been in all three of those movies. Now, I know it's not possible, but I find it, I don't know what I find it. All I know is that I like Darth Maul, and he's one of my favorite characters. And I'm just now learning that there's more of him in the animated series that I had never even knew about. And now that I'm following that rabbit down that hole, I got a feeling I'm going to like watching the animated series. So with all that said, I went and watched the Clone Wars, the 2008 version, where Ahsoka becomes Anakin's Padawan, and Jabba the Hutt's son has been kidnapped. Okay, y'all know which one it is. Y'all have all seen it. I hadn't, so I watched it for the first time tonight, and I was blown away. I thought it was fantastic, and one of the reasons why I thought it was fantastic is because it had lots of lightsaber duels and it had lots of fighting. And over the canon series, one thing that has, to give you a quick rundown, is Empire Strikes Back is my favorite Star Wars movie, okay? And I loved A New Hope and Return of the Jedi, like I said before. But I have revised my top three to Empire Strikes Back as number one, Rogue One number two, and Solo number three. And it all comes down to the action. I love lots of action in movies, and those three Star Wars movies, to me, are the best three. Now, I know Solo, people don't like Solo and thought it, was terrible, but I really enjoyed Solo. I love seeing that history and that backstory, and I love seeing the actor. I thought the actor did a fantastic job, and Lando's character. Gambino, I don't know, Childish Gambino or something. I don't remember. I don't even know what his name is. All I know is I really digged him and, Game of Thrones, Dragon Queen, and Solo. I thought they did a fantastic job and they meshed well. And it's how I thought Han Solo and Lando's relationship was strained, but they were still friends. I thought they did a great job of bringing that all back together. So anyhow, without further ado, let's jump back into the Clone Wars, 2008. I love the action sequence in it, and I love Ahsoka and Anakin's banter back and forth. And even though I know eventually Anakin is going to become Darth Vader, you can kind of see it in him. He's in his tone of voice, and I think that is portrayed so good in the Clone Wars. And the scar on his face, And another thing that I liked is I'm sure everybody else thought of this too, but every time Count Dooku or Obi-Wan Kenobi was standing in front of Jabba the Hutt, I was waiting for the door to open, because of the Rancor from Return of the Jedi. And I was like, oh man, I even had that feeling, oh God, don't hit the trap door on Obi-Wan, and I know that sounds stupid, but that's exactly how I felt in those moments. And seeing these characters, it was like, wow, and I know some of the critics on this were, they did it dirty, and they said there was no character development. Well, I'm going to tell you something. You didn't need character development. We already knew the characters. And I thought it was fantastic. And the fighting and the lightsaber duel between Ventress and Obi-Wan was amazing. And the banter back and forth during that reminded me of the original 4, 5, and 6. And I really digged this Clone Wars, and I can't wait to keep watching. I'm really stoked to see where this goes, and the spaceships and the music and the lightsaber hum, all of that was fantastic. So I watched the movie. I loved it. I don't know how to rate something. I mean, if you ask me, I would give it 8 out of 10. That's how good I thought it was. And here I am in 2019 reviewing this, and this movie, oh man, that's a long time ago when this movie came out. Hell, I didn't even know it was in theaters. But I want to go over some of these reviews that I read after watching the movie. And I'm glad I didn't read the reviews, because I probably wouldn't have watched it. I would have said, oh God, I don't want to be disappointed. It blows my mind at some of these reviews. And for example, let's take Rotten Tomatoes. It's got an 18% approval rating and it was given a 4.2 out of a 10. What? That is mind-blowing. I can't comprehend why they would think it was that low. I thought the storyline was fantastic. Having to manipulate Jabba into thinking the Jedi killed. I thought Count Dooku did a great job of manipulating the Jedi. I thought the storyline was great. Adding Ahsoka to Anakin when he didn't want a Padawan, and then eventually, he warms up to her and accepts the challenge. And I just 4.2 out of 10. I can't comprehend what the hell they were thinking. Okay. And according to Rotten Tomatoes, the Ewok films, which was A Battle on Endor, we all know those were terrible, 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 terrible films. And the holiday special, which was even worse, has better ratings than the Clone Wars, the 2008 movie, on Rotten Tomatoes. How is that possible? This was a fantastic film. I just don't get it. Entertainment Weekly gave it says it's 1 out of 5 worst films of 2008. What? I have nothing to say there. I actually don't know what other films were there. I want to say The Dark Knight was in that. Tropical Thunder was in during that year, but I couldn't. One of the 5 worst. I'm sure there was some bad films that year, and this was not one of them. The Toronto Star said pretty much drives a stake into the heart of the loyal fans. I don't get it. I don't get that statement. Like I said, I thought it was fantastic. That just didn't. That review is terrible. That's a terrible review. It's just terrible. It's a terrible, terrible review. Can you have 2 terribles in one sentence? I guess so, because I just did it. All right, what about the York Daily News wrote, if this were a true Star Wars film, right about now somebody would say, I've got a bad feeling about this. Man, these critics, they crack me up sometimes. It's like they just like being haters. It's like a food critic. You never can. Just like Ratatouille. Think about Ratatouille. The guy always gives bad critics to all the food places around town. So everybody tries their best to give them the best. and it's always a bad review until what? The rat makes Ratatouille, and it hits home with him. Well, I'm not sure how to correlate that other than, yeah, I have no idea where I was going with that. All right, so Owen Gleiberman gave it an F. Well, just the lightsaber battles in it makes it an A in my book. So I don't know what he was thinking. He's just a hater, and you know what? So what he thinks. I just can't imagine any other Star Wars fan thinking that that's an F. I thought it was a fantastic film. The Philadelphia Inquirer said, the Clone Wars is to Star Wars what karaoke is to pop music. Well, not sure how to, that's different. I like karaoke. So I'm not sure what they're trying to say there. Roger Ebert gave it 1.5 stars out of 4. You want to know something? Probably the last 10 films that I watched that he gave bad ratings, I liked. So I'm not really sure what that means other than either I like really bad movies or he's just a sour old man that don't like action movies. Because that's what I watch a lot, and I love fantasy and sci-fi with action, and he tends to rate them low, like under 3 all the time. So this film, The Clone Wars, it earned $68 million in theaters, and the budget was only 8.5. Well, you know, that's a lot of money, but according to, you know, Wikipedia, this Star Wars film's considered a flop. I don't see how, because it didn't make 200 million. Oh my God, it 8 times itself just in theaters. And if I'm not mistaken, it came in 3rd that week behind The Dark Knight and Tropical Thunder for a week. And we're talking about an animated movie that, yeah, there is a lot of violence in there, but it is rated for family. And yeah, that just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Oh, and it was also nominated for a Golden Raspberry Award in the category for Worst Prequel, Remake, Ripoff, or Sequel. Whew, that's a lot for one category. Well, I don't know what to say other than I think whoever nominated them for the Golden Raspberry Award in the category of Worst Prequel, Remake, Ripoff, or Sequel are idiots, because I thought it was fantastic. And I know it's been a while since this has been out, and my review probably doesn't mean a whole lot, but I don't care. I just thought after reading the reviews, I was like, man, this was very good. And I went and read the reviews, and it just blew my mind at how bad they were. And, you know, please put in the comments what you thought of this. Think back, go back and rewatch it, anything, and leave the comments. Leave me in the comments what you really think and your rating of this. Because as a Star Wars fan, and it being my first animation movie that I've watched, I thought it was fantastic. And I can't wait to keep watching these animation Star Wars shows and series and movies. So I'm looking forward to it. And The Mandalorian, comes out tomorrow, right? Woo, can't wait for that. But anyways, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Hope you like this review. This is my first real review, so I'm just trying to get it out here and see how it goes. And I'm going to review everyone that I watch, and we'll go from there. Like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Thanks.